Since the beginnings of civilization, humans have perfected the art of scaring each other with dark, gory tales and legends. This infatuation from receiving thrills through situations and characters that we find scary or threatening has found a home in many art forms down the ages. From some of the entries in the Bible, to the pages of Poe and Lovecraft, to the canvases of Goya, and eventually the world of film. Join us to take a look at when monsters took over Hollywood. Universal Studios is widely regarded as the studio that brought into existence horror as a mainstream genre, and in the late 1920s, filmmaking as an art form was still in its adolescence. So it was during this tumultuous period in competition between big studios that Carl Laemmle Sr. decided to give control of the production to his son, Carl Laemmle Jr. Jr., although underestimated by many, would come to prove that he had his father's instinct for business and a vision of what audiences wanted. In 1925, audiences were in for a shocker when they went to see Lon Chaney's new film, Phantom of the Opera. For Universal Studios had intentionally kept in secret most aspects of the film regarding Chaney and his now infamous makeup. And then, it was revealed. The man of 1,000 faces had unleashed his newest creation. Reportedly, upon first being revealed to the audience, the makeup, which consisted of the actor pulling his nose back with wire, stalking false teeth in his mouth, and painting his eye sockets black, was so hideously shocking that caused some of the moviegoers to scream in terror and even faint. Chaney's legacy at Universal Studios and horror movies in general will help to usher in a new generation of monstrosities that would change cinema forever. Carl Laemmle Jr. had a vision for the studio. After the imminent success of Phantom, Jr. realized that the future of movies lay with the monster flicks, and so, as soon as he was given control of the studio, he embarked on the production of a series of films based on Gothic horror novels. The first of which would adapt the classic tale of an undead Transylvanian count trying to move to England in search for new blood. Hungarian actor Bela Lugosi had been touring with a hit Broadway production of the 1924 play Dracula. So in 1931, when the film was being cast, he saw himself as the perfect candidate to portray the Count on the big screen. However, the studio didn't believe that Lugosi had enough acting credits to headline the movie. And the fact that the actor spoke with English with a heavy European accent didn't help either. Laemmle Jr. brought in director Trot Browning, who wanted to cast Lon Chaney as the titular vampire, but Chaney was unfortunately dying of lung cancer at the time, and so after persistent insistence by Lugosi, and accepting a meager salary of $500 a week, he was finally cast as Dracula. Lugosi delivered beyond expectations, playing the Count a suave, elegant character with a hypnotic presence that could blend in perfectly with London's high society. This might have been why audiences found this movie so terrifying upon release, the idea of a monster who hides in plain sight and comes for you at night.
Then, children of the night, what music they make.
Upon release, the film was a hit with both critics and audiences, most critics praising Lugosi's performance and turned the Hungarian actor into an overnight superstar. Later in the series, we will see how this role continued to haunt Lugosi for the rest of his career.
It was Dracula.
Oh, did the role depress you?
Very much. It haunted me. I often dreamed of the dead. In the morning when I woke up, I was tired and depressed.
Frankenstein had been Lenny Jr.'s pet project for a while, and he wanted to go all out with it, so he decided to bring into the fold English director James Whale, whom Jr. had a fascination with. The whole film was cast, but there was something missing, the monster itself, and so legend has it that Lugosi was in talks to play Frankenstein's creation. Some sources state that Bela turned it down, because it was a non-speaking role, while others claim that he indeed accepted, but the studio decided to move him to another film that was going into production, Murders in the Rue Morgue. Regardless of which version is truthful or not, the fact is that Universal released posters promoting the film with Lugosi as the monster. Another story from those days, regarding the casting of Frankenstein's monster, states that while at the Universal Studios commissary one day, director James Whale spotted a tall, mild-mannered man, and had one of his assistants invite him over for a cup of coffee. This man was Boris Karloff. Wales immediately started drawing sketches of Karloff as the monster, and had makeup artist Jack Pierce design the now iconic flat-headed silhouette that we've come to associate with the monster. Karloff was fully committed to the transformation process, going as far as even removing a dental implant to make his face look more sunken, and letting Pierce rub mortician's wax on his eyelids to give him a more corpse-like appearance. But even with all this morbid makeup on, Karloff's expressiveness shined right through, and that's how Whale and Lenny Jr. knew they had their monster. While Dracula was a more self-contained story, Frankenstein, which premiered only 9 months after, became a film that explored more the themes of morality and science and social division, and unlike any movie before it, Frankenstein was a movie that embraced the macabre, showing us one of the grimmest cemeteries ever put to film within its opening minutes, and never shying away from the gory, grotesque details. The story of a scientist who creates a man out of the parts of freshly buried corpses he steals from the cemetery and the gallows was tremendously well received by critics and audiences alike, bringing in great numbers at the box office. Carl's ability to play the monster as both terrifying and sympathetic earned him the praise of the critics and moviegoers, helping him become an overnight success.
Shut off the light.
However, a movie this bold was of course the target of some controversy, especially the scenes where little Maria is drowned by the monster, which was censored for almost 40 years.
It was a great challenge and tremendously interesting, because here was a completely helpless, inarticulate, lumbering, helpless creature in a strange and hostile world without speech, and he had to communicate to people, and it was a challenge to find some way to do it. How did the monster turned out to be the best friend I ever had. He changed the whole course of my life. I was an obscure and struggling, unknown actor. Then all of a sudden I get this marvelous opportunity handed to me with all the help and assistance that I could ask for. And my career, my work hasn't stopped since. 32 years later, you are asking me about him. Now, who could ask for anything better than that?
The success of Karloff as Frankenstein's monster started a professional rivalry between himself and Dracula actor Bela Lugosi that would see them face to face in opposing characters in many more Universal films down the decade. Frankenstein proved to Lenny Jr. that he was in the right track with horror movies, and so the production of more of these films went underway. Join us next time to explore more of the films and personalities that played a crucial part in the creation of this monstrous era in Hollywood history. If you like our content, please consider subscribing. We'll be uploading a video every week. Thank you for watching.